Hey guys, it's your girl, Crystal Nicole. So, Megan Thee Stallion had requested a civil harassment restraining order, claiming that Tory was harassing her from jail by paying bloggers to aid him in the harassment, which was causing her emotional distress. She claimed that due to the past restraining order ending with his sentencing, she no longer had protection for if Tory was to get out, and she was afraid that he might do something like shoot her again. She couldn't get a domestic violence restraining order because Cali law defines a dating relationship as frequent intimate associations, and according to Megan in her recent documentary, she only hooked up with Tory a couple times, I don't know, and they had not been dating, so they had to go for a civil harassment restraining order. Now, this is where it gets confusing. So, the civil harassment restraining order says that this is for someone who you have not been intimate with. But Megan and Tory had been intimate. So, I guess due to the short, intimate history that they had, she qualifies for a civil harassment order. I don't know. Now, it says that this order can be granted against someone who was harassed, stalked, threatened, or harmed by another person emotionally or physically. Now, Megan is claiming that Tory is harassing her, which is harming her emotionally. So, this is the recent harassment that she's alleging. She said that he filed a writ of habeas corpus about the evidence being missing, and he had purposely filed it before her documentary speaking about him. That him fighting for his innocence on appeal is causing negative commentary against her. That he harasses her through third parties, that he made statements after the trial about the conduct of prosecutors, that he posted about them manipulating his DNA, and through third parties, he disseminated information that his innocence had been declared by the appeals court. Okay, so let's just go back through this one by one. Okay, so the part about he filed that writ of habeas corpus about the evidence being missing. First of all, Megan, this has nothing to do with you at all. Anything that has to do with Tory's appeal has nothing to do with you. Even though he's doing this because he was convicted of shooting you, this does not have anything to do with you. So regardless of him filing this and him doing it before your documentary came out, literally it has nothing to do with you. So how is this harassment of you when you're not involved in that at all? I don't get it. She said that him fighting for his innocence on appeal is causing negative commentary against her. Megan, this negative commentary has been going on way before he started doing an appeal. It was going on before a trial even happened. There's multiple reasons for why there's been negative commentary about you. It has really nothing to do with Tory. It has a lot to do with you and the stuff that comes out of your mouth. I don't understand why you don't get that. Okay. All right. But anyway, him fighting for his innocence on appeal, again, has nothing to do with you at all. He can fight for his innocence on appeal. He's been fighting for his innocence since before the trial happened, at least attempting to. He fought for his innocence at trial through his attorneys, and he's continuing to fight for his innocence. And I know this may affect you, I guess, because, you know, in your mind, you believe this happened, but you couldn't even remember the way that this happened. So I don't know why. Whatever. Next claim. He harasses her through third parties. All right. Well, until you prove that, he's not harassing you through anybody. So we're going to need to see proof of that, because as of right now, you've just given accusations of your own speculations of him doing this, but you haven't provided any sort of evidence or proof that backs up these assertions. So you're going to have to prove that, sweetheart, for this to make sense. He made statements after the trial about the conduct of prosecutors. Again, This was about the prosecutors, has absolutely nothing to do with you at all. That he posted about them manipulating his DNA. Again, those DNA results they didn't prove anything at all. So, again, really has nothing to do with you. So harassment of you through this, how exactly? Just, I don't know. Okay, and through third parties, and this is just upon information and their belief, okay? Upon information and belief, through third parties, he disseminated information that his innocence had been declared by the appeals court. I don't really remember this happening, and I just did not care to go find it, at the time. But if he wasn't the one posting that his innocence had been declared by the appeals court and it was just people who misinterpreted something the wrong way, again, what does that have to do with him, and how is that him harassing you? Somebody please make it make sense. And for the love of God, constantly coming in my comments to tell me he's in jail and he's never getting out, that's not an answer to my question. So please stop, okay? I don't give a stop saying that to me. I don't care. I just want an answer to my questions. If you can't give me that, please stay out of my comments. Thank you. Anyway, on to the previous harassment. So they made sure to put in here all of the things he did before trial and seemingly maybe after trial, that was so-called harassment of Megan. So here we go. They said he denied Megan was shot by asking, "How did you get shot in your foot and not hit any bones or tendons?" This time we're just going to go through them as I'm going over them, okay? How did you get shot? How did you get shot is somehow translated into you weren't shot. You weren't shot in your foot and not hit any bones and tendons. Okay, no, that doesn't sound right. How did you get shot in your foot and not hit any bones or tendons? That sounds like a question about just how could you get shot in both feet and not hit any bones or tendons. It's not saying you didn't hit any bones and tendons, so therefore you weren't shot. That's not what he's saying. It's more like it's kind of impossible for you to get shot in both feet with whole live bullets and not shatter any bones or tendons. So, I mean, you were probably, I don't know, it was probably fragments, but you definitely weren't shot like how you're making it seem. You're kind of over exaggerating the situation, but okay, that's more like what he was saying, but it definitely wasn't. She wasn't shot. I don't know why y'all keep saying this. It's total manipulation. Anyway, the next one, October, he went live saying that Megan was endorsing a false narrative about being shot. He didn't say that she was endorsing a false narrative. He quite literally said that we needed to pay attention to what she was saying because some of the stuff that she was saying didn't make no sense. Like, how exactly could the police not know that you were shot until you came to social media and told everybody that you were shot? That's not how that works, sweetheart. The moment the hospital found out that you had bullets in you, the police should have immediately been called back to the hospital. And apparently that didn't happen because they told TMZ that they didn't know that you had even been shot when you came to social media. And how was that possible? How could they not know until you said so? Yeah, so that's why he was saying, we need to kind of pay attention to the stuff that she's saying, because some of the stuff she's saying is exposing the bullshit surrounding this case. But all right. But nice try there. Anyway, next one. He got within 100 yards of Megan at Rolling Loud. Got within 100 yards. Okay, so let's be petty on this one, because, girl, he ain't pass you. He ain't see you. He ain't touch you. He ain't make no remarks about you. Like, none of that. The nigga was in a whole life costume, came in like through a back door. I don't really know, but y'all did not cross paths at all. You just happened to find out that he came and he performed after you and decided to use this as just another way to attack Tory. So you had him back in court once again claiming he violated the restraining order because he was within 100 yards of you, and this made you nervous. Even though he was a pussy who shot you with a pellet gun, a pussy. You called him a pussy a lot. So I keep trying to figure out how you could be so scared of someone who you believe was such a pussy. But okay. Pussy. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, next. He posted that he was starting not to give a fuck about his gag order. He posted that he was starting not to give a fuck about his gag order, and this was harassment of you because he was starting not to give a fuck about his gag order. Okay. I'm sure it makes sense to somebody. I don't know. DJ Academic shared the DNA results. So what? So what? These are the same results that were shared at trial. So what? I don't get it. This was harassment of you because it didn't help prove your narrative that Tory shot you. I mean, if that's the case, then I get it. The next one is that he posted a music video chopping up a horse leg. So we're just going to give this to her because whatever. The next one after that was he posted why he apologized. Megan, how is this harassment of you? His apology reason turned out to be true because it's something that even you had to admit to at trial. So is this harassment of you because it called out your lies, or I don't get it. Like, he's allowed to say why he's apologized. Megan, none of this is harassment of you. It's just him fighting for his innocence to be set free, something y'all keep telling him that he's not allowed to do by consistently silencing him from even doing that. When he was charged, he was issued a protective order. Now, that was understandable because of the accusations. But after the information came out from the eyewitness, he was gagged from speaking about or sharing anything regarding his own defense with the public. He never came into contact with Megan at Rolling Loud, but they fined him for that. He said if he said anything pertaining to his innocence, Megan immediately tried to have him silenced or went at him herself on social media. He never said that she wasn't shot. That's why they put nothing in here to back that up, and he's allowed to call out prosecutors, wrong or not. That doesn't even have nothing to do with you. None of this is even close to being like personal harassment of you on a level that will require a protective order. Nor did you provide any proof of him paying any third parties to harass you. So the only thing this order can do is stop the harassment, but that harassment needs to be specified and proven first for him to stop doing it. So let me explain that a little bit, because with such vague, unproven claims of harassment, especially through third parties, are they going to claim that Tory is violating the restraining order anytime that a blogger says something online not favorable to Megan? Can Megan just point out a blogger and say, that person said something negative about me, they must be working for Tory, and have Tory back in court for a alleged violation? Because at this point, they're basically saying, we believe that she believes he's doing these things. So if she believes it, that's enough for us. We don't need any evidence that he's doing anything per se. Her word is good enough. And that's not okay in the least bit, because you're supposed to provide evidence in a court of law. And if we're now bypassing evidence in favor of feelings, facts no longer matter, which explains why y'all care so much about opinions and are trying to keep us from even having those now, using misinformation as the guise for it. But I digress. There needs to be something in writing stating what he is not allowed to do now, so there can be no confusion later when they try to claim that he violated the order because the blogs are still reporting what's happening with his appeal. because he's not stalking you, calling you, abusing you, threatening you. You're basically using this in a roundabout way to try and get Milagro to stop talking about you. But here's the gotcha. Unless you can actually prove that he's paying her to speak on you for him, he can't violate something that he's not doing. And if that's the only harassment you're speaking about because you really named nothing else, your plan has backfired. So this restraining order was a waste of time, and clearly for your idiot fans' sake, as this isn't stopping Free Tory from being said anywhere. From being said anywhere you are posted, etc. This is your lane now until that man is free. You're not forcing anybody to side with you who never has to begin with. So these antics need to stop. Now, these supporting declarations just makes no sense. Domestic violence victims don't normally lie about being with the man or the person that they're alleging they're being abused by. It would be kind of hard to understand them if they did that. The police would be basically investigating a ghost. Like when the police concluded their investigation at first with you just being a glass victim, not a gunshot victim, because everybody lied to them at the hospital about you just having glass in your foot, including yourself. So no bullet wound, no gunshot victim, no man, no domestic violence. You see how that works? For 2 years, you denied being intimate with Tory. You claimed that he was lying about that because he was trying to deflect from committing a crime, as if saying, I slept with you, just absolves him of a shooting. This is how slow people are, though. They honestly believe that Tory exposed he was sleeping with Megan just to deflect away from a shooting. People had already assumed the two had been sleeping together before this happened, so much so that TMZ was already claiming that this was a domestic violence incident immediately after it happened. So, I wonder why they called it that. And where was their lawsuit or rage post from Megan calling out their credibility, since you had such an issue at the time with anybody alleging that y'all had been fucking? Did TMZ know something that we didn't? I'm just curious, because they seem to know a lot. So I find it interesting that you have domestic violence supporters backing you up when you didn't even consider yourself that for 2 years, and still tried to downplay it after he was sentenced as if it wasn't even relevant. But it's relevant now that you want a restraining order. You finally being honest on the stand does not change the victim status you wanted, which was you just being a victim of a shooting for no reason. Remember? Not a domestic violence victim. So why anybody is saying that you should be able to fit in the same category is just ludicrous, when even you tried to lie your way out of even being in that category. The fuck? What people need to accept is that Megan lying about that is just yet another reason why Tory's defense is believed by his supporters. Everything Megan lied about was called out at that trial. She lied about sleeping with Tory because the stories had started coming out that this was the cause of what happened that night. Even Gayle King told her that this was a part of Tory's defense, and that's why it was being said. It wasn't just because he was trying to deflect away from a crime. If she had been honest about that, majority would have believed that her and Kelsey had fought over Dick, like Tory said, and they were the cause of the shots being fired. That's why Tory was gagged from speaking about the case after this information came out, so that Megan could be allowed to run with her own narrative all the way up until trial. Then, like some brainwashed dumbasses, people accepted her sorry-ass explanations for why she lied and somehow made Tory out to be the liar instead of her. Like, explain yourselves. Please, come to the front. Please, and turn the lights on when you do. If it's okay if she lied, it's okay if she lied, but if Tory had lied about anything, they would have crucified him like they're doing now, without a single shred of proof that he's done anything that Megan accused him of. They've taken her word as gospel because they've been shamed out of thinking or believing otherwise. Hence the lawsuit happening and her accusing Free Tory supporters during her speech in this restraint hearing. It's all about silencing the narrative that's not hers. It started with Tory, so he couldn't even defend himself publicly, and they're continuing it now. So like I said, they need to make the harassment clear. This is the second time that she's accused Tory of doing things and then using everything other than him to back up her claims, and it's just being accepted. Now, the judge was changed right before this hearing because Megan claimed the first judge would be biased against her, and she was immediately switched out for this guy. From that moment, we all pretty much figured out what would happen from there, and we were right. So don't ever doubt the bullshit that surrounds this case, because that should be opening a lot of people's eyes if they weren't already open. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? Now, the judge said that there was harassing conduct since 2020, which would be the previous, harassment we just went over, which again, none of that was harassment. Y'all just let Megan believe it was harassment by constantly approving things like this restraining order just based off her say-so. Treating the situation as if he was already guilty before a trial even commenced or evidence was shown proving he had committed a crime. Innocent until proven guilty did not exist in this case. He was tried in the public while being silenced from even being able to defend himself to the very same public they were overwhelming with Megan's claims of his guilt. Then have the nerve to now try to keep Megan out of the situation by trying to put it all on the state as if she had nothing to do with it and he's not in jail because of her. Yet here we are, a documentary and a restraint order later. Are we still on that same type of time or not? Just like Megan's handler, they both care a lot about public perception, and you'd be a fool to believe otherwise. The same tactics has been used for both when it comes to these court cases. But it's funny how things changed when it came to this female victim for Jay-Z compared to Megan. I bet you wouldn't catch Jay or Alex Sparrow backing up lies and inconsistencies being used as credible evidence of a crime being committed now, would they? Somebody should go ask them and see what they say. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. This was some bullshit, but not unexpected. I care more about the ongoing appeal and when that decision will be made. So as always, free Tory, bitch, and stay tuned. See you later.